was an innings and 39 runs as the tourists were bowled out for just 61 in their second innings. England now lead the series 2-1 with one test to play.
Headingley has produced some remarkable test matches, surely none more so than this. It was England's day throughout as Michael Vaughan and Graham Hick punished some wayward West Indian bowling. Both reached 50 as England established a crucial lead of 100 on the first innings. England haven't beaten the West Indies in a series for 31 years, but from the outset of their reply, it was a Caribbean calamity. Bowled in! Adrian Griffith was the first to go as Darren Gough on home territory ripped through the early batting. Wavell Hines followed, one ball later. Then, in the very next over from Gough, the wickets that everyone prizes. Brian Lara inexplicably shouldering arms to another ferocious delivery. For Lara, one of the best batsmen in the world, this series could not have been worse. By the time Sherwin Campbell fell to an outstanding slip catch by Graham Hick, West Indies were on 21 for 4, all of them to Gough. Dominic Cork nipped in to take the valuable wicket of Jimmy Adams. The face of the West Indies captain said it all. Fittingly, it was Caddick who brought the West Indies' misery to an end. This was the shortest test match for 54 years. It's only a disappointment if you've got a ticket for tomorrow. Paul Newman, BBC News.
The million
accused that are given that is motion sideways for Courtney Walsh, and it's how the day began on the second morning of the fourth test match at Headingley. The match perfectly balanced, and if it's going to move around like that, it will continue to be a bowler's day. The West Indies all out for 172 yesterday. England 105 for 5 in reply. They're 67 runs behind, and the losses of Thorpe and Stewart yesterday evening were key moments. Good morning, Mr. Wasp, we said. 16,500 people in the ground, so you've got plenty of choice if you're looking for a sting. There we were then, sold out and ready for action. Graham Hick due to come in at number 8, but out in the middle, Michael Vaughan and his partner Andrew Caddick were doing a decent job. The running between the wickets was good. Dermot Reeve is with me.
Quite right, Mark. The running between the wickets was excellent. The intent was there from the word go, and they picked up plenty of quick singles. There he goes. Curtly Ambrose has got one to leap from a good length. Ball has hit the edge and it's deviated a long, long way. Caddick has gone. But that was a very nasty delivery.
Yes, perhaps a little bit wide in that respect. A better player may not have played it that width, but the bounce was the key, wasn't it? Caddick's brave little fight is gone. He's out for 6. It's 124 for 6.
Good little partnership that. They put on 28, and the excess bounce here is the thing that's going to worry all batsmen for this match. Curtly Ambrose taking his 401st Test match wicket. We saw the celebrations for the 400th yesterday. They were fantastic. This time it was all rather more matter of fact. Here is Graham Hick on strike now, coming in so low and immediately going for the pull stroke. And for me, if Graham Hick is going to assert himself again in the second coming as a Test match player, he must attack the short ball. He's good when he does it. He isn't so good when he doesn't.
401 Test wickets for Curtly Ambrose, and let's see how accurate he is. A lot of bowlers practice, or used to practice, by putting a handkerchief on the area of the pitch where they were trying to practice the ball. I've drawn my impression of a handkerchief, and this is a whole over from Ambrose. See how accurate he is. That one first to Hick, he pushed away on the leg side. Again, the second ball to Vaughan also landed in the same spot, and he pushed it around the offside. The third one again landing in that little square, and the fourth one, good technique by Hick there, just watching the ball to see if it will extra bounce, and then another one. So 5 have all landed in that little area. The final one just a little bit wider. Hick tries to score, but that's the secret of Ambrose. I just think, though, he might be getting a bit frustrated now.
In complete contrast to Curtly Ambrose, there was problems for the support bowlers. Look at that from Rion King, and it was typical of a very difficult period for a talented bowler who was having trouble with his line and length. Lovely, isn't it? The old lazy loosener.
A little bit of ketchup on it. From Vaughan's point of view, was I'll have a piece of that. Thank you very much.
Pretty good shot. It was straight and full. Hick saw it so big that he could work it with his wrists. Just about where he wanted, into that space at mid-wicket. It brings him 3. Four runs. It's the Graham Hick that the Worcestershire faithful know and love.
And the crowd were enjoying it. The sun was out, and England had just inched ahead. And have a look at that partnership. Vaughan and Hick have put on 50, and the selectors were dead right. Playing the extra batsman had worked, and England had a lead.
Been 20 overs before Courtney Walsh was hit for a boundary, and then that lovely cut stroke from Graham Hick did the trick. Another pull stroke, and when Hick goes on the rampage, you feel there's such definition to his play.
Well, he was positive on all his shots. He's always been strong at the cut. There's another one beating backward point, but he was pulling the ball. He was into position nice and early, looking very confident.
And he got a bit of help too, because the West Indies fielding was very mixed. There were some calamities out there at times. 1 or 2 good stops too, in fairness, and Wavell Hines was sharp on the square leg boundary, as was Rion King down at third man. Here Hines has to move, 15 yards to his left, and makes good ground of that ball and gets the return in quickly, and Jimmy Adams is rather more relieved with that. Michael Vaughan is pleased here because he's playing second fiddle. He's quite happy to let Hick take command, and when they leave the field for lunch, the score is 200 for 6, and Hick and Vaughan are going extremely well. The key thing is that England have a lead of 28, very valuable on a pitch still offering plenty to the bowlers. A lead of around 75 would be really handy.
For Graham Hick, coming in at number 8.
It was a splendid 50 from Graham Hick, and then very next ball, a lovely, delicate, fine sweep. End of the over. He got congratulations from his partner, Michael Vaughan.
Yes, I think that a lot of people in the side will feel good for Hick that he made 50 here. Justification in the selection, and that Nasser Hussain in particular keen to have 7 batsmen is exonerated. One general present doing the stuff, and one general past offering some assistance.
He stumped. Adams has got him. And that's the end of Graham Hick.
It was almost like a run out. There's some turn for Jimmy Adams. He doesn't always turn it. Graham Hick down the track. Jacobs was going to take the bails off first and just decided with the distance that Hick was down the track, he delayed a bit. Graham Hick has gone for a well-played 59. England are now 222 for 7.
Gone now. The breakthrough has come with Graham Hick gone suddenly. You have a situation where 2 have gone down. Craig White gone straight away, and now the West Indies are starting to see a glimmer of light.
Nixon McLean getting into the act now. His first wicket in a test match on this tour. First test match, Craig White fanning at the delivery outside the off stump, nicking it through to an ecstatic and joyful Ridley Jacobs. Craig White fails to trouble the scorers. England are 224 for 8.
And brought Dominic Cork to the crease, and this was his first ball, a beamer from Nixon McLean. It was actually a slower ball. Dominic Cork now didn't pick it up. McLean just unhappy he didn't get it straight. Cork was up to his old tricks as well. And here, very nearly run out.
For Michael Vaughan. Well, that should be out. Well, you've all heard the expression struck dumb. That's the way we are here.
Oh, this went very high, a short delivery. Dominic Cork got a top edge onto it, and a lot of time to think about it. Wavell Hines, too much time.
Oh, I say. Crikey, that's a stroke and a half. Just crucified it. 250 up for England.
Sport on 4 with Stepstone online.
England lead by 84, and Dominic Cork was as adventurous as ever. A couple of thunderous strokes in support of Michael Vaughan. They were putting on 32 in quick time, getting the score up to 256 for 8. And then Vaughan played for me, Dermot, the shot of them all.
It was an absolute beauty. Just timed it through mid-on. He played a great pull shot earlier, and they were positive before the new ball was available.
Oh, he's edged it, he's gone this time. Tremendous catch from Ridley Jacobs, and it is Curtly Ambrose who does the damage. Vaughan will just be miffed with himself, I think. First time he's been drawn away to play at a ball that he might have chosen not to.
Well, they're on their feet here at Headingley, and so they should be too. A very good piece of bowling once again. You'd expect that with the new ball with the old ball. Ambrose does it all the time. Yes, it was a good catch because the ball was dying, but the man of the moment leads 76 against his name, Michael Vaughan. Top knot. It's 269 for 9.
England lead by 100 now. Very, very good batting performance. Very high, and it's nicely held. Adrian Griffith. And those knee tremblers that go straight up like a periscope. So Darren Goff is out, the innings ends. England finally all out, mighty pleased with it too. 272, Vaughan 76 and 59 for Hick. Not forgetting the effort of Hussain and Thorpe together yesterday when they resisted that marvellous new ball bowling by Ambrose and Walsh. 4 for Ambrose, 4 for Walsh, none for King, 1 for McLean, 1 for Adams. Very expensive in support, those West Indian bowlers. It really is a hard graft for Ambrose and Walsh. A light roller used. I think the West Indies would have been worried about a heavy one further breaking up the cracks. That's the situation of the game as the second innings begins. England 100 runs ahead after a really impressive showing thus far.
Bowled in! What a beauty! Swinging back in at Griffith. It was the first ball he faced, and it was a snorter from Goff. Late in swing. That's what's done the damage. Full-length delivery, but if we watch it on the replay, it swings back at Griffith very late, committing him to an off drive.
First ball he faces. Going for a big drive, and it's swinging back through the gate. It's a great start for England. It's a great start for Goff. 3 for 1. First ball, Wavell Hines is out. 88 miles an hour, swinging back in. England on fire. Successive deliveries from Goff. And Hines follows Griffiths back to the shower. Well, I can tell everyone, Headingley is absolutely erupted. Darren Goff, the Yorkshireman, doing the business for England. He's taken the first 2 wickets, and this is absolutely plumb. The ball once again swinging back at the left-hander. Trapping him dead in front. That's hit the back pad. That's rocking middle stump. Well, there's another West Indian batsman who really hasn't troubled the scorers at all. It's 3 for 2.
Darren Goff, of course, already has a Test hat-trick to his name. But wouldn't this be special? One of the world's greatest batsmen on strike, Brian Lara. He has really taken his time. And now Nasser Hussain is playing a few mind games with Lara. Swapping the field round. And look at all those close catches.
Well, Brian Lara, he had to be on top of his game from the first delivery. It was very similar to the previous 2 deliveries. Lara, that just jamming down on at the last moment. This ball is hooping around. And that's that line, and that's that finger. Doug Cowie has raised it twice. Lara's gone, Goff's on fire, and Headingley rise. Well, I can't believe it. Same dismissal twice in the 1 Test match, and it's Brian Lara as well. You would have thought he'd make the same mistake again. Pitches in the red zone, no shot offered. Wow. Off stump would have been out of the ground if his paddock wasn't in the way. No problem with that, LB. Darren Goff, 3 wickets. Brian Lara only 2 runs. 11 for 3, and the West Indies are in all sorts of trouble now.
Very wide on the left of your screen. Umpire George Sharp was officiating that LBW decision. Doug Cowie had the pleasure of raising his finger when Darren Goff was the bowler. Sharp with the left hand, Cowie with the right hand.
He deserves the smile. Doesn't matter whether he was Malcolm Marshall or Dennis Lillee, the great bowlers, the great swing bowlers of the era. He had matched them with this performance, and at the other end, Andrew Caddick, with bounce and movement, was giving him outstanding support. Top class. Graham Hick, the catcher, he's had a big day, though not as big as the one that Darren Goff is having. Sherwin Campbell, the man who's back to the pavilion now. The West Indies in total disarray.
What a delivery this was. Great leg cutter, bounce and movement, and a very smart catch by Graham Hick. He would have been unsighted by Graham Thorpe's left hand coming across his vision, but he held on to it well. The big man has a safe pair of hands. Sherwin Campbell, though, departs the 12, 21 for 4.
And a very happy Yorkshireman who left the field at tee with figures of 4 for 12. At this stage, the West Indies 23 for 4. There was mayhem at Headingley. A huge crowd was involved. There was a threat of rain. Indeed, a few West Indians were praying for it. Ramnaresh Sarwan, the one real class act so far. He was unbeaten in the first innings with 59. He'd had a little bit of a going over from Jimmy Adams when he played one stroke that was too expansive. But it really was a case of digging in here. It must have felt such a helpless task for both Adams and Sarwan.
footwork wasn't right. Jimmy Adams wasn't getting his front foot across to the ball. And there was still movement. Caddick had bowled splendidly, was keeping it tight.
And if the footwork wasn't right, nor the fingers either, because the extra bounce that the England bowlers were getting out of the pitch were causing problems. This took a long time for Adams to get bandaged up after it. Real pain there and real pressure too.
Well, he's done the same after that long break. He has done exactly the same thing as in the first innings. He's dragged the ball back onto his stumps. Well, that was a bit of an airy-fairy shot. I think we can hazard a guess that his concentration wasn't what it should have been. He may have been in quite a bit of pain as well. He's dragged it back on and 5 down for 49. All over. Andrew Caddick, 5 wickets. Darren Goff, who started it all, 4 wickets. England have won this match within 2 days. One of the more extraordinary test matches you will ever see. The margin, an innings and 39 runs.
This was the moment of victory again. Keep your eyes on the crowd. They loved it. It gave Caddick 5 for 14.
All out for 61, only Campbell and Sarwan getting double figures. Sarwan unbeaten twice in the match. He is a very promising player. The England bowling figures are worth looking at. 4 for Goff, 5 for Caddick, 1 for Cork. They really do work well as a unit. And there were 2 happy bunnies having a chat with Steve Lee afterwards.
It's been an extraordinary day's cricket, hasn't it?
Well, you're not kidding. I didn't sleep much last night. I thought I'd been within half an hour this morning. But they played very well in hard conditions, especially against Courtney Walsh, Curtly Ambrose, the great bowlers. And seeing that, we got our wickets there, and I don't think anything misbehaved. It was all through, I'd like to think, high-class swing bowling from myself and Andy.
Andy bring you in there. What an amazing over that was. It's one I won't forget for a long time. The crowd were just fantastic, weren't they? Did you feel physically and mentally lifted by the sheer noise and everything that was going on? And the corks, of course.
Yeah, it just reminded me of Lords, and you know, there's a great crowd down at Lords, and again today's, a superb and fantastic crowd here.
Do you think it's